Let me tell you something interesting about Jim Henry. When I started making plans to do a deacon training resource, I'd done two resources early after I started this company, but it was time to do something fresh and new. And Jim Henry's name continued to come up. So I called him, we had a nice phone conversation, and I decided fairly abruptly that I was just going to fly to Orlando. He was pastoring First Baptist Orlando at the time. He's now retired, but still teaches deacon training courses all over America. So I flew to Orlando. He didn't even know I was coming. In fact, he never knew I was there. I wanted to attend one of his Sunday morning services. I got there early and stayed late. I wanted to see how the service went, just pick up on the feel of the church. And sure enough, well before the service began, he was up and down the aisles, greeting people, kneeling down, talking to little kids. And you could see that the people were crazy about Jim Henry, their pastor. Well, the service was great. I was interested in what happened after the service. He was out in the big foyer. It was a big auditorium and big foyer. People were coming by, talking to him, hugging him. He was hugging them. They were just having a great time. He was the last guy to leave. He never knew I was there. In fact, he may not know till this day that I was there. But I was checking him out. I wanted to see if he really was the kind of person that everybody said he was. I had an idea he was. He'd been president of the Southern Baptist Convention. He was well loved. In fact, here's a little tidbit. He was elected Floridian of the Year. I believe it was for the year 1996. Now this is out of all the business and professional community of Florida, Jim Henry was elected Floridian of the Year. That ought to tell you something. Then when a few weeks later, we videotaped the first series, Deacons, Partners in Ministry and Growth. He was the first one for the taping, the last one to leave, and those deacons were crazy about him. I knew right then, this is the kind of man that pastors would like to train their deacons. He would say some things that the pastors themselves really, it might not be appropriate for them to say. He was dead on in everything he said. Sent me a tight outline. I loved it. Totally prepared. And his first series, Deacons, Partners in Ministry and Growth, is now in over 9,000 churches. Jim Henry and Deacons, Partners in Ministry and Growth. Well, it's a winner.